My husband cheated, but that's not what bothers me. So as I stated, my husband cheated, but I can forgive. I'm the only woman he's been with until this. 25 years of marriage, and he said he was just curious. I was out of town. He found an escort in our area. The first time he went, he said he was so nervous that he couldn't get it up. So he tried one more time with the same girl. To prove to me that he was telling the truth, he scheduled a polygraph. It's next week. To prove that this was his first time stepping out, that he was there only twice, and that he regrets it with his whole being. Here's the thing. While I forgive him, I can't get past who he did it with. I found the girl. She didn't have any face pictures online, but I found her on Facebook. Not only is she ugly, and I'm not saying this like I'm beautiful, I mean she's ugly and she's big. And that's what bothers me. I can't sleep with someone I'm not attracted to. How could he sleep with her? He says he was already there, and then the second time he knew that was her line of work and he was somewhat comfortable. I know it's lame or sounds like I think I'm superior, but that's not it. My husband is a very good-looking man, and I've worked hard to maintain myself for him. I once had a friend. She was beautiful. She couldn't believe that my husband was with me, or that he showed me as much love as he does. That's the other thing. My husband openly adores me, always has. And he's genuine about it. Everyone sees it. I worry that he might not pass this test, and it's gonna reveal that he's not who I thought. My sister says I focus on this BC. I don't want to deal with the true pain that this has caused. Comment. If you really want reconciliation, I suggest you get couples therapy together. The polygraph test is not really important. Have therapy with him, work out your issues, your pain and betrayal, his reasons for actually doing it. Imo, that's your best chance of finding back together. You are not alone. Research as well as experience finds they, men and women, typically affair down in terms of appearance, as well as other things. It's not unusual for the affair partner to be the exact opposite, a step down, in every way. Why? Nobody knows for sure, low self-esteem, or the taboo nature of the act. I know a couple in our church. His wife was active and a church leader. Married for 25 years. She had sex one time with the visiting church speaker outdoors in a park on a cold, wet night after a prayer meeting. Among other things, her husband required her to confess before the church family. And she couldn't explain why. Absolutely agree. My ex-husband's long-term affair partner is either a step down or a polar opposite to me in every way. Looks, we are very, very different. She's quite mannish, she's not ugly, but I'm quite physically different. I'm very short and perky with big boobs and a girly face. She's very tall and muscular and covered in tattoos with a hard face. Values, couldn't be more different. Intelligence, I outstrip her by a wide margin based on what I know of her and her education/profession/values/her internet posts. She's also an ex-heroin addict. Again, no judgment, but this is something he would always have been very vocally against. He had quite the superiority complex. She's incredibly opinionated and seeks a lot of online validation and posts way too much personal info online. I don't do any of that. Another woman I caught him cheating with was very pretty, but she was also very over fake tanned and over blonde bleached. Nothing wrong with that, but it's a polar opposite to me and something he had always expressed a dislike of physically. All I can see is he chose women he could easily manipulate, including me. Myself, the long-term affair partner, now wife, his long-term girlfriend before me, we all had an alcoholic parent. He likes damaged. There is something so cold and indifferent, to you, his spouse and partner, to have sex with someone outside of your marriage because he was just curious. He had no regard for you at all when he did this. Not only that, he doubled down and went twice because it didn't work the first time. I don't think a polygraph is going to give you what you're looking for. The outcome won't change. He will still have had sex with someone else, even if she's ugly. I don't think her being pretty would have made you feel better, because at the end of the day he chose, with many different steps along the way to cheat on you, because he was curious. He waited until you were out of town and went twice to the same person to seek out sex outside of your marriage. He did this knowing this would be devastated you if you found out, all because of curiosity. I truly believe that what your sister is telling you is true, and when you said you are worried that the polygraph will reveal he's not who you thought he was, he's already proven that to you. He is not who you thought he was, and this pain is what your sister is talking about. Next story 2. Why don't cheaters leave/divorce? I am struggling to understand why some cheaters don't leave their spouse/partner. Over the decade, I caught him cheating so many times. Each time, he begged me to stay even after I told him I wasn't going to take him for everything. In fact, I was not gonna take anything, and let him have 50% custody of our kid. I was not even going to badmouth him, as this is just not me. If the other women he had sex with, and sexed with, are so good, why not just be single and sext and sleep with whoever he wants? I know he blames me for being too rigid and my body had changed after having kid plus aging, but I have no lack of suitors, so why not just let go and let others who know how to cherish me have a chance with me? Why lie about changing? But I caught him within an hour of saying that, sexting my friend and a list of girls whom I am told repeatedly looks uglier than me. I know this time I am for sure divorcing. I just feel stupid for listening and believing he would change. I feel very humiliated and angry, and at the same time questioning him/myself/the whole idea of marriage. Comment. My ex-wife cheated on me for most of our marriage based simply on what she admitted. I suspect that she began cheating after we had been dating only a month or two. I have strong evidence, no confession, that she slept with at a half dozen guys during our marriage. Within a month of us separating, she was seeing at least 4 different guys based on our cell phone records, and she was still seeing these 4 guys 10 months later, when she finally quit my cell phone plan. About 2 months after we separated, I started dating someone. Nothing major, but we were doing in-house separation, and she noticed that I came home around midnight every week or two when it was her parenting time. I have never seen a more jealous person in my life. She was literally screwing at least 4 different guys on the regular, and she was pissed that I was potentially seeing someone else. I have no idea why, but people who cheat have some serious issues with stone throwing/glass houses. I think you finally realized the real question is why people stay with cheaters. Good for you. Cheaters like having their cake and eating it too. They want the security of a marriage with all the benefits it brings and the thrills of an affair. They don't care about who they hurt, and they rarely consider the consequences. Cheaters are all flawed in some way that makes them cheat. There are many types of cheaters though. The person who love their spouse but are not sexually satisfied, so they find an affair partner to satisfy this. OFC, they don't leave since they claim to love their spouse. The monkey brancher who will stay in the relationship until they know the affair partner is better but will come back when they notice that's not the case. The drunken mistake cheater who blames it on the alcohol or drugs. Some cheaters are just too lazy to leave because divorce is a hassle. For some, the excitement of cheating is what drives them, and if they leave their partner they lose the kick they get from cheating. These are just a few reasons of why cheaters stay. Next story 3. Is he cheating? So I had a bad feeling around earlier this year. So I finally had the guts to check his 30M phone and found messages with his coworker where she would send him hearts and he would too, and he sent her a winky face in later messages. She left that job and he had her on WhatsApp and gave her a compliment. Oh, her new fully blonde hair, previously a brunette. Then mentioning why she didn't say goodbye to him, and then he mentioned her looking like she was in love with her partner at that time, and she said, oh no, just dating men that aren't worth it and low quality. And then he said something like, yeah, men like me aren't easy to find. Then she said, you're too old for me, and he jokes saying, I'm only 2 years older than you. I honestly don't know what to do about this. I mentioned it and he was like I didn't do anything wrong and that it wasn't important to tell me about it. We've been dating for 3 years and I'm really hurt and I'm not sure what to do. Comment. Why is he still communicating with her if they don't work together anymore? Sounds like he had an interest in her but she was dating someone and now sounds like he's still trying to pursue her and flirt. He needs to stop talking to her and block her before it escalates. Doesn't matter if anyone here thinks he's cheating or not. The important fact is that you do not feel comfortable with how they're communicating, at least from what I'm gathering. It's for both of you to communicate and lay out the boundaries of your relationship. If that's crossing a line to you, he either respects your feelings and deals with the situation accordingly, or I imagine things can go downhill pretty fast. It's important, but possible he doesn't realize it. Your BF was flirting with a colleague. These things have a way of sliding into more without notice. Suddenly the flirting results in a kiss at a work party. Your BF lacks boundaries, which is why he started flirting with colleague. At some point, if he remains unaware of his lack of boundaries, he will do it again, and potentially slide into a real EA/BA. The problem is his unwillingness to see that his behavior is a problem. If he ever gets there, persuade him to read Not Just Friends by Shirley Glass. That book should be required reading in every relationship. You need to decide what to do. Suggestion: write him a letter, tell him his flirting with colleagues concerns you, not the friendly banter, but his lack of understanding the pitfalls in his behavior. Tell him this behavior is causing you distress and doubts in his commitment to you and your relationship. And ask him for his advice to resolve this. His response should tell you a lot his commitment to you and a future to Jeter. Don't settle for rug sweeping, you'll regret it. Best of luck.